discuss calls for potential retaliatory violence, not actual violent incidents. These people are, they don't even, who the fuck typed this up? They don't even recognize all the contradictions they're putting in their own bullshit. Recent lethal violent incidents may be indicative of a resurgence of targeted violence within the BIE movement. So once again, they're basing all of this off of 6 incidents, with 2 of them being suspect, since they ain't drop any names. All right, it goes on to say analysis of alternatives. The FBI considered the alternative hypothesis that retaliatory violence against law enforcement is not ideologically motivated, but rather a result that some individuals may simply harbor animosity towards police and exploit racial tensions as an excuse to commit acts of violence. The FBI, however, assesses this alternative is very unlikely in the cases analyzed in this assessment because strictly criminal subjects typically commit spontaneous defensive acts of violence against police rather than proactive targeting and use idiosyncratic reasons unrelated to ideology, such as financial gain and personal disputes, to justify their actions. The FBI further judges it is very likely BIEs proactively target police and openly identify and justify their actions with social political agendas commensurate with their perceived injustices against African Americans, and in some cases their identified affiliations with violent extremist groups. Outlook. I think this is about it. Let me see how much more we got. Okay, I think this is finally it. Outlook. The FBI assesses it is very likely the BIE's perceptions of unjust treatment of African Americans and the perceived unchallenged illegitimate actions of law enforcement will inspire premeditated attacks against law enforcement over the next year. So there it is. They're saying that the more you niggas out there listen to all this pro-black talk, the more you all buy into believing all the cops are out to get you, the likelihood of you becoming the next Micah Johnson or one of them other niggas I listed is going to go up. They honestly believe that you constantly posting to social media, you reading these black websites, you listen to these black broadcasters on YouTube, et cetera, going to these pro-black meetings that are being held by people like Umar Johnson and Boyce Watkins, and y'all going to see your Hidden Colors and your Haiti revolutionary documentaries by Tariq Nasheed or whatever documentaries Jason Black and them are putting out. They believe all of that is going to turn you into some fucking cop killer at the end of the day. That's what they're saying. All this information you're soaking up to try to find out who you are as a black person, why black people are the way they are in America in terms of their social standing and lack of political and socioeconomic power, that's enough to turn you into a damn crazed, deranged killer. Let me read some more of this crap. They said something interesting about anyways. It says, this may also lead to an increase in BIE group memberships, collaborations among BIE groups, or the appearance of additional violent lone offenders motivated by BIE rhetoric. So there we go. They're trying to say some lone wolf shit in here. You notice how white people go out there and start chopping people down. They're always lone wolves. But now they're trying to say based off of 6 incidents of black lone wolves going out there acting on their own accord, that this is going to be enough to convert all you niggas into some damn cop killers at the end of the day. That's what they're saying. They're honestly sitting around here trying to say that black people don't know how to fucking think for themselves, man. Like, we can't read some shit, get pissed off after looking at the facts, and then still remain peaceful in terms of not going out there killing motherfuckers. Like I'm going to sit here and honestly just read some shit or listen to some shit, and then I'm going to be brainwashed to go out there and buy me a AK-47 or AR-15 or whatever and start chopping down cops every time I see one. That's what they think. They think we're just a bunch of mindless fucking drones running around here being directed by some black puppet master way off in YouTube land somewhere who controls our thoughts based off of 6 accounts, with 2 of those accounts being suspects since they don't want to name names. That's what this whole thing is saying. The FBI is saying you niggas are a bunch of monolithic niggas who can't think for yourselves. And you're going to go kill some cops because 6 niggas already did it in the past 3 years. Even though you niggas have been talking this anti-cop shit, anti-white supremacy shit for fucking years, decades now. But we got to reach back 30 years to find an example to try to link it with 6 incidents that took place within the last 3 years. Notice how they ain't talking about all the white cops or all the cops in general who've been giving niggas that work. White people, black people, whatever, especially black people. Notice they ain't talking about that shit. I wonder if these same rules and this same mindset applies to the cops out there who follow that fucking blue, what is that? That blue code of silence or whatever the hell they call that shit. Do you think this applies to them? I'm pretty sure cops are out there on all those Blue Lives Matter Facebook fan pages, following all those Blue Lives Matter Twitter accounts. And then you got President Donald Trump telling the cops it's okay to rough them up a little bit. I mean, wouldn't this same mentality apply to the cops as well? Except there is God knows how much documented evidence of cops actually going out there brutalizing people. But you can only find 6 incidents to try to say that black people who listen to black thoughts about systemic racism and oppression, that we're all just going to turn into a bunch of fucking psycho killers looking for cops? Are you fucking serious? Anyways, what is this thing going? Okay, it says the FBI further assesses it is very likely additional controversial police shootings of African Americans and the associated legal proceedings will continue to serve as drivers for violence against law enforcement. The FBI assesses it is likely police officers of minority groups are also targeted by BIEs because they are also representative of a perceived oppressive law enforcement system. Possible indicators for BIEs posing a violent threat to law enforcement include advocating for violence against law enforcement, violent anti-white rhetoric, attempts to acquire illegal weapons or explosives, and affiliation with others in both the BSC and sovereign citizen extremist movement. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you are out there talking about starting up a pro-black gun club, teaching black gun ownership, or you're out there creating a black blog like mine's, The Onyx Truth, or a black YouTube channel, or you subscribe to any of these Facebook pages, Twitter pages, these black groups on Facebook like TMI and all these other damn groups out there, that pretty much you have a high propensity to possibly go out there and commit violence against the cops. And the cops need to start watching you niggas and keeping tabs on you niggas like they did the Black Panthers back in the day, because based off of 6 incidents, with 2 of them being suspect over the past three years, that is enough for cops to start shaking in their boots that niggas are about to go out there and start sniping cops down. That is what they're saying. I just want to read the report on the actual cops. Where's this report at? What about the cop that killed Sam DuBose, whatever his last, I can't pronounce his last name, that had the Confederate flag shirt on? What about the FBI report that said the FBI, law enforcement in general, has been overrun with white supremacists? What about all the cops who subscribe to the Blue Lives Matter fan pages, who listen to all these white people who sit there, clap and cheer, talking about, yeah, they deserve to die, or whatever the case may be, and all these white people, what about all this bullshit out here these white people do that these cops love and support, and they get support from these white people? Where's the report on this? Because these cops could easily fit this whole goddamn memo right here. They could do just substitute names and dates and titles. And this could be easily about the cops. You probably have about 50 fucking pages on the cops. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to read that to you because at the end of the day, you all should know this by now. Black Thought, not the rapper, but Black Thought is criminal in America. You're not supposed to think this. You're supposed to be on team white supremacy, cooning and buffooning, yucking it up, because that's what is expected of you, nigga. You ain't supposed to sit here and talk about how all these people being gunned down on video, clear as day. Like that recent one I just watched of the black guy who was running from the cops, and that cop shot like 4 or 5 bullets into his back. Y'all know the video came out like 2 days ago or something like that. But all these cops are just right. They all fear for their life, even though, whatever, man. They all have the right to kill you, abuse you, and get off and take their happy asses home and live a happy life. And you, the black person, supposed to just sit there and suffer in silence. That's what they want you to do. Suffer in silence, nigga. No more kneeling. No more sitting down during the national anthem, or if they're going to send white girls to throw fucking soda on you like that last video I just did. They want you to take your abuse and shut the fuck up, or else we're going to keep tabs on you and add you to the black identity extremist watch list. I wouldn't be surprised they got my name on that motherfucker now. But whatever. Anyways, black people, that's what's popping out there. So y'all do what y'all want to do. I'm going to keep talking what I talk. I suggest you keep talking what you're going to talk, because when shit is wrong, shit is wrong. Who gives a fuck if they add you to a list or not? Shit is wrong. Shit is wrong. Talk about that shit. Keep shining the light on that shit. And if they want to believe you're going to go out there and turn into some violent fucking serial killer type of lone wolf motherfucker or whatever off of shit you read on the internet, then let them believe whatever the fuck they want to believe, man, because you can't do shit to stop it. You can't do shit to control what they think about you. All you can do is control what you do with your life and control the thoughts and the energy and whatever that you allow into your life. You can only control your own shit, your own little fucking destiny, your own little world. But, this is what they think about you. The FBI is watching all you niggas. Anyways, y'all be easy. I'ma holla.